Welcome to the homework solution tutorial on homework 1D, 1E, 1F. In this video, I will be covering numbers 1 through 4. To do this, it says, given a quadratic parent function of x is equal to x squared, write the equation of the transformation and state the vertex. I made your life a little bit easier by supplying you the vertex form and the different characteristics of the different transformations. You should have this from class. You're going to be using this as reference to complete this. These technically does need to be memorized prior going into the tests. First of all, it says for number 1, it says for it to open down. And if we take a look for opening down, this is when a is equal to a negative value. So we can write here that a is a negative value, negative a. The fact that it does not include a compression or a stretch of any kind, we can just leave it by saying it's the same. So this is a is equal to 1. Next, it says to translate 6 to the left. Left is referred to your horizontal shift, and that is when h is negative. So your h is going to be negative 6. Then your 4 down, that is your k value. So k is going to be equal to negative 4. Let me make your life easier by just grabbing the function here. I write g of x. You can write this as anything that you want. You can write it y or f of x. I just wrote f g of x, okay? And we already stated here that x is equal to 1. So watch me make just that substitution, okay? In the equation, it's already x minus h. So don't make it hard. Look, you see how I just replace that h with this negative 6? Do you see that? Okay. So let me just scoot it over a little bit. Here's that negative 6. And now you see a negative and a negative, right? Okay. A negative times a negative does become a positive. Why am I not? Okay. So we can just erase this, and this does become a positive. And then plus k, we can just replace that k with this negative 4. We don't ever write plus a negative, so we can just write it as just minus 4. So that would be your complete answer. It looks a little bit better like this. X plus 6 squared in the parentheses minus 4. We don't ever write that 1 in front. Okay? But there you go. Oh, there's a negative. That should be a negative 1. Because remember, it opens downwards. So it should be negative parentheses x plus 6 squared minus 4. Let's do this one now. Opens upwards. That is when it's positive. A is positive. There is no stretch or compression. So we will say that a is equal to 1. Okay, right there. And it says translate 8 to the right. So that is when h is equal to 8. 5 down. So k is equal to negative 5. Let's just grab our vertex form here. Bring it in here. And then we can now make that substitution. So a was our 1. Okay. Let me just make this a little bit bigger for that 8. So h is now replaced by that 8. And your k is now replaced by negative 5. All right, we don't ever write plus negative 5. We can just write it as just minus 5. So it looks like this in the end. Equals, we don't ever write that 1. X minus 8 squared minus 5. Okay. So this is how you write it. Just understand which word translates to which letter of the characteristics. 3 and 4 is the same, but now we describe it. Okay. So let's just grab our vertex form here to help us out for reference. Okay. So it looks like your a is a positive value. So a is positive. And then a is also equal to 1. Your h, take a look, it's just 2. It's not negative 2. It's just 2 because do you see x is here, that negative is already here. So h is just 2. Then your k, you don't see it here, but there's a plus 0. So k is equal to 0 here. All right. So what does this translate to? Okay. So we can say that A is positive, so it opens upwards. We can say that. Then we can say A equals to 1, so the size stays the same. Opens upwards, stays the same. Size. H plus 2, so plus 2 means moves to the right. So we can say 2, move right by 2, and k equals to 0. You could say move none, or you don't even have to mention it. So there you go. You can say it opens upwards, the size stays the same, and it moves right 2 units. Next, let's do number 4. Same process. Here, let's grab our vertex form to help us out. All right, A is equal to a negative. So A is negative. Okay, and that does tell us that it does move down. And then A is a positive, the absolute value of A is greater than 1. So we can write that absolute value of A is greater than 1. You see how it's 2. And then H, let's look at it. All right. So H is negative 1. You're like, where's the negative 1 coming from? Well, do you see this? It's a plus. Okay, so it really looks like x minus parentheses negative 1. Okay, because remember there needs to be a negative here, x minus the h value. So h is equal to negative 1, and then your k looks like that is the value of 3. So when A is negative, that does tell you that it opens downwards. And when A is greater, that is a vertical compression. And but we don't. But do you see how it compresses? Okay. We can say it vertically compresses. Okay. Because A is bigger, then the absolute value of A is greater than 1. H is equal to negative 1, so we can say that does move left 1 unit. Move left 1 unit. And K equals to 3, that does say move up the value of 3 units. So there you go. That would be your description. Okay, it opens and downwards. It has a vertical compression. It moves left 1 unit, and then it goes up 3 units. All right, let me graph it for you to give you a better understanding. Okay, so what I have here is the original parent function of f equals x equals to x squared. And this is how the function looks like once I graph it. Okay. Right. It's in red. Now, opens downwards. Okay. Now, notice that the vertex moves left by 1 and up 3. The part that you're not seeing is if it's a compression or a stretch, right? So let me just take out the h and the k value and that negative. All I want you to look at is that value in front. Going from the parent function, which is in blue, Okay. Now goes to red. Is it stretching? No, it's not. It's compressing. Stretching is if it's getting wider, right, or fatter. Here, from blue to red, notice it is compressing. That is why I'm saying it's a vertical compression. All right, so there you go. That is 1 through 4.